This is why you should never trust your pastor. Once upon a time, in the quiet village of Obudu, there was a widow named Mama Nena. She lived in a small house with her only son, Chidi. Her husband died 3 years ago, leaving her with nothing but one thing, a large farm filled with yam, cassava, and plantain. People said the land was blessed. The soil was rich. The crops never failed. Everyone wanted that farm. But no one wanted it more than Pastor Kolechi. He was the village pastor. He wore white robes. He spoke softly. He smiled always. And every Sunday, he told people, God speaks through me. But what Mama Nene did not know was this: not every man in white speaks for God. If you're watching this video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments where you're watching my folktale story from. I want to know how far it has traveled. ****. One Sunday morning, the church was full. Women clapped. Men shouted amen. Children sat quietly. Pastor Kolechi stood at the front, eyes closed, hands raised high. Suddenly, he shouted, "Wait! God is showing me something." The church went silent. You could hear the wind outside. "Someone's child here is marked by death," he said. His voice was cold. Mothers grabbed their children. Fathers looked around. Then, little Chidi screamed. He fell from the bench. His body shook. His eyes rolled back. Mama Nena ran to him, crying, "My son! My son!" Pastor Kolechi walked slowly toward her. He pointed his finger. "The spirit has chosen your house." Mama Nena carried Chidi home. His body was hot like fire. His breathing was weak. She laid him on the mat and cried. The next day, Pastor Kolechi came to her house. He sat down and said, "Mama Nena, I prayed all night. God showed me something terrible." She wiped her tears. "What did he show you, Pastor?" He leaned forward. "Evil spirits are living in your farmland. They are the ones attacking your son." Her eyes widened. "What can I do?" He touched her hand gently. "You must give the land to the church as a holy seed. Only then will your son be healed." Her heart broke. That farm was all she had. Mama Nene did not sleep that night. She sat beside Chidi, watching him breathe. His chest moved slowly. His skin was pale. She prayed softly, "God, please help me." Then she remembered something. Before her husband died, he told her, "If anything happens to me, never trust a man just because he wears white." She didn't understand then. But now, something felt wrong. The next morning, she went to the village well. Women were there, washing clothes. One woman whispered, "Did you hear about Mama Eagle? She gave her land to the pastor. Now no one has seen her." Another woman nodded. "And Mama Adis too. Gone." Mama Nena's hands shook. That evening, Mama Nene made a decision. There was an old man who lived deep in the forest. His name was Umuaka. People said he was a herbalist. Pastor Kolechi always warned, "Stay away from that man. He serves darkness." But Mama Nena had no choice. She wrapped her shawl and walked into the forest. The trees were tall. The path was dark. She walked for a long time. Finally, she saw a small hut. Smoke came from the roof. She knocked. The door opened. An old blind man stood there. His eyes were white. But somehow, he smiled. "I have been waiting for you, Mama Nena," he said. Her heart stopped. "How do you know my name?" Old man Umuaka sat down slowly. "I see many things, even without eyes," he said. "Your pastor's light shines from a black flame." Mama Nene did not understand. "Please, my son is dying. Can you help him?" Umuaka nodded. He reached into a clay pot and brought out a small mirror. It was old and cracked. "Take this," he said. "Tonight, when the pastor prays, hold this mirror before a flame. It will show you the truth." She took the mirror. Her hands were shaking. "What will I see?" Umuaka's face became serious. "You will see what hides behind his prayers. But be careful. Truth can be dangerous." That night, Mama Nene waited. The village was quiet. The moon was hidden behind clouds. She saw a light in the church. Pastor Kelechi was there, praying alone. She crept close to the window. Her heart was beating fast. She lit a small candle and held the mirror in front of it, just like Umuaka said. At first, she saw nothing. Then, the mirror began to glow. Inside it, she saw Pastor Kelechi's reflection. But something was wrong. His face had no eyes. No mouth. Just darkness. Behind him, tied to the altar, was a black coat. Red cloth wrapped around its neck. Blood dripped onto the floor. Mama Nene gasped. Suddenly, the pastor's head turned toward the window. Mama Nene ran. She ran fast through the dark streets. Her wrapper nearly fell. Her slippers flew off. She didn't stop until she reached home. Inside, Chidi was still sleeping. But when she looked at his chest, she froze. There was a red mark glowing faintly on his skin. The same red cloth she saw on the goat. Her son was tied to the pastor's ritual. "No, no, no," she whispered. She grabbed the mirror again. This time, she looked at Chidi through it. In the reflection, she saw a thin black rope around his neck, pulling him slowly toward the church. She screamed. She had to go back to Umuaka. He had to help her break this curse. The next morning, Mama Nene ran back to the forest. But when she reached Umuaka's hut, the door was open. The fire was cold. He was gone. "Old man. Old man Umuaka," she called out. No answer. She stepped inside. On the floor was a clay god. It was sealed with wax. Suddenly, the god shook. Then, a voice came from inside it. "Mama Nene." She jumped back. "Umuaka." The voice was soft. "Yes. I have crossed into the spirit forest. But my voice remains here to guide you." Tears filled her eyes. "How do I save my son?" The god answered, "You must turn the pastor's own prayer against him. On the seventh night, he will call for blood. You must be there." The seventh night came quickly. Pastor Kelechi announced a special midnight service. "We will fight the demons once and for all," he said. The whole village gathered. Candles were lit. Drums were beaten. The church was packed. Mama Nene sat in the back, hiding the mirror in her wrapper. Her son lay on a mat near the altar, too weak to stand. The pastor raised his hands. "Tonight, the evil spirit will leave this boy." Thunder roared across the sky. People shouted, "Amen." But Mama Nene watched carefully. She knew the truth. This was not deliverance. This was a trap. And her son was the sacrifice. She gripped the mirror tightly. It was time to act. Pastor Kelechi began to pray loudly. His voice shook the walls. "Come out, demon. Leave this boy." The people clapped and stamped their feet. Lightning flashed outside. Chidi's body began to shake on the mat. His mouth opened wide, but no sound came out. Mama Nene looked through the mirror. What she saw made her blood freeze. A black shadow, thick like smoke, was wrapping itself around her son's neck. It was pulling him down, down into the ground. The pastor was not casting out demons. He was calling them in. She stood up. Her legs were shaking. She had to stop this. But how? Everyone believed the pastor. No one would believe her. While everyone's eyes were closed in prayer, Mama Nena slipped behind the pulpit. There was a small door she had never noticed before. She pushed it open quietly. Stone steps led down into darkness. She took a candle and went down. The air was cold and smelled like death. At the bottom, she found a room. On the walls were shelves filled with bones. Human bones. Each skull had a name carved on it. Mama Eagle. Mama Addis. Mama Obioma. All the widows who gave their land to the pastor. All the women who disappeared. Mama Nena's hands covered her mouth. Then she heard footsteps behind her. Heavy. Slow. She turned around. Pastor Kolechi stood at the top of the stairs, smiling. "So you found my secret," Pastor Kolechi said softly. He walked down the steps, one by one. His white robe glowed in the candlelight. But his eyes were dark. Empty. "I trusted you," Mama Nena whispered. He laughed. "Trust? You people trust too easily. You believe every word from the pulpit." He stepped closer. "Your husband's land is the most powerful in this village. The spirits told me. Once I take it, I will have everything." He pulled out a long knife from under his robe. "And your son? He is just the key to unlock your signature." Mama Nena backed away. Her heart was pounding. She reached into her wrapper. Her fingers touched the mirror. "You will not take my son," she said. Pastor Kolechi raised the knife high. "It's too late. The curse is already written." But Mama Nena lifted the mirror and held it in front of the candle flame. The light bounced off the glass and hit the knife. Suddenly, the pastor froze. His body stopped moving. His eyes went wide. The mirror glowed brighter and brighter. Inside it, two parts appeared. One part was red, covered in fire. The other was white, covered in water. A voice whispered from the mirror, "Choose mercy or choose vengeance." Mama Nena's hands shook. If she chose mercy, would the pastor be freed? If she chose vengeance, would her son die? She didn't know what to do. Time was running out. Then, the God's voice echoed in her mind. "Faith without truth is death." Mama Nena understood. She could not fight evil with evil. She had to break the lie with truth. She took a deep breath and smashed the mirror on the ground. The glass shattered into 1,000 pieces. Instantly, a powerful wind blew through the cellar. The candles went out. The church above shook. People screamed. The drums stopped. Everything went dark. Then, from beneath the altar, a terrible scream rang out. It was not human. It was the sound of something ancient. Something angry. Mama Nena felt the ground crack under her feet. She ran up the stairs as fast as she could. Behind her, the walls began to crumble. When Mama Nena reached the top, the church was in chaos. People were running everywhere. The altar had split in half. Black smoke poured out from the crack. Pastor Kolechi crawled out from the cellar, coughing. His white robe was covered in ash. His face was burned. He looked like a different man. The villagers stared in shock. "What is happening?" someone shouted. But no one answered. Mama Nena ran to her son. Chidi was still lying on the mat. His eyes were closed. His chest was not moving. "Chidi! Chidi, wake up," she cried. She shook him. She slapped his cheeks gently. But he did not respond. Her son was not breathing. She screamed. "No. Please, God, no." Mama Nena fell to her knees. She placed both hands on Chidi's chest. Tears poured down her face. She closed her eyes and whispered her husband's name. "Obi, if you can hear me, please help our son. She prayed from her heart, not with loud words, but with deep love. Slowly, the red mark on Chidi's chest began to fade. First, it glowed bright. Then it turned pink. Then it disappeared completely. The black rope she saw in the mirror was gone. Chidi's fingers twitched. His lips moved. Then, a small child in the crowd shouted, "Look! He's moving." Chidi opened his eyes. He took a deep breath. "Mama," he whispered. Mama Nena hugged him tightly and cried with joy. But the celebration did not last. Pastor Kolechi stood up slowly. His body shook. Then he began to laugh. It was a cold, evil laugh. His eyes turned black, completely black, like deep holes. "You fools," he shouted. "You broke the seal. Now every soul in this church belongs to me." The church doors slammed shut by themselves. People screamed and ran to the exits, but the doors would not open. The windows locked. They were all trapped inside. The black smoke from the altar grew thicker. It filled the room like a living thing. Pastor Kolechi's voice changed. It was no longer his voice. It was deeper, older, like many voices speaking at once. "You cannot escape," the voices said. Then, something strange happened. The air in the church grew cold. So cold that people could see their breath. Slowly, figures began to appear around Pastor Kolechi. They were women. Transparent, like smoke, but you could see their faces. Mama Nena recognized them. Mama Igo. Mama Adis. Mama Obayoma. All the widows whose bones were in the cellar. They stood in a circle around the pastor. Their eyes were sad, but their faces were strong. One by one, they reached out and placed their hands on his chest. Pastor Kolechi screamed, "No! Get away from me!" But they did not move. Where their hands touched him, his robe began to burn. Smoke rose from his body. He fell to his knees. From the smoke and wind, another figure appeared. It was Old Man Woke. But he was not solid. He was half shadow, half light. His blind eyes glowed white. He walked toward the circle of widows. "Daughters," he said gently, "take back what was stolen from you." The ghost women nodded. Their grip on Pastor Kolechi grew tighter. He screamed louder, "Please, forgive me. I beg you." But the widows did not speak. They began to pull him down. The floor beneath the altar cracked open. A deep hole appeared, dark and endless. Pastor Kolechi clawed at the ground, but he could not hold on. Slowly, the spirits dragged him into the hole. His screams faded as he disappeared into the darkness below. The ground shook violently. The crack in the floor grew wider and wider. The altar split completely in two. The black goat statue that stood behind it exploded into dust. Pieces of stone fell from the ceiling. "Run!" someone shouted. The church doors flew open by themselves. People rushed out, screaming and crying. Mama Nena grabbed Chidi and ran as fast as she could. Behind them, the roof began to collapse. Beams crashed down. Walls crumbled. The whole church was falling apart. They made it outside just as the building folded in on itself. A huge cloud of dust rose into the air. When it cleared, the church was gone. Only rubble remained. And then, silence. Complete silence. Morning came slowly. The sun rose over the ruins. Villagers gathered around what was left of the church. Everything was destroyed. The walls were gone. The roof was gone. Only ash and broken stones remained. But in the very center, something lay untouched. It was the mirror. The same mirror Mama Nena had smashed. But now it was whole again, not a single crack on it. It lay flat on the ground, reflecting the blue sky above. One elder bent down and picked it up carefully. "Look," he whispered. "It survived." People gathered around. They stared at it in wonder. Someone said softly, "This is a sign. Truth cannot be destroyed." The villagers nodded. They finally understood what had happened. Mama Nena stood in the middle of the crowd. Chidi held her hand tightly. The village chief walked up to her. "Mama Nena," he said, "tell us everything." So she did. She told them about the vision in the mirror. She told them about the cellar full of bones. She told them about the widows who disappeared and the land the pastor stole. She told them everything. When she finished, the crowd was silent. Then the chief spoke loudly. "From this day forward, no pastor, no prophet, no holy man will own our trust more than we trust our own hearts. And any offering given to the church must serve the poor, not one man." The people clapped. "Yes. Yes," they shouted. Things would be different now. The villagers decided to build something new. Not a big church with tall walls and locked doors. They built a simple prayer hut with open sides and a grass roof. Anyone could enter. Anyone could live. There were no thrones. No secret rooms. Just a place to pray under the sky. Chidi grew stronger every day. His laughter returned. He played with other children again. Mama Nena kept her farm. She planted more yam and cassava. And every harvest, she shared it with the village. One evening, she took the mirror and buried it beneath the new prayer hut. She whispered, "Let truth always watch over us." Then she covered it with soil. The mirror would stay there, hidden but present, a reminder forever. Years passed. The story of Pastor Kolechi was told to every child in Obudu. Mothers warned their daughters. Fathers warned their sons. Never follow a voice just because it is loud. Never trust a robe just because it is white. Old man Nwok's spirit was never seen again, but people said he was finally at rest. The widows' names were carved on stones and placed at the entrance of the prayer hut so they would never be forgotten. Mama Nena lived long and peacefully. And every Sunday, when the village gathered to pray, she would say one thing: faith is not blind. It sees through love and truth. But when greed dresses in holy robes, even the angels look away. The story you have just heard is a beautiful African tale I heard long ago. I'm telling you to wake your minds to this truth: not every voice that speaks loudly speaks for God. Not every miracle comes from heaven. Some come from greed, wrapped in white robes and sweet words. If you were Mama Nena, what would you have done when the pastor asked for your land? Would you have trusted him? Or would you have asked questions? I want to know your opinion, because every story is like a candle that can light the path for someone else. Remember this: faith is good, but wisdom is better. Trust is beautiful, but truth is stronger. Never be afraid to ask questions, even in holy places. God gave you a mind to think, not just ears to obey. God bless you, and may courage guide your hands. Meanwhile, on the final screen, I am leaving you with one of the channel's most beloved folktales. I am sure you'll love it. Thank you for staying with me until this moment.